Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Next Goal Wins. It's another positive review today. We can't get enough fun. We go 2-0 down, but again, the gift that keeps on giving, Leicester City offer us a bit of relief. It finishes 2-2 the game, and what a game it was. I mean, first half, we shouldn't have been 2-0 down at half-time. We really shouldn't. We didn't deserve to be 2-0 down, and I don't think Stoke fans could really say they deserved the 2-0 lead. But the game kind of started, we were alright going forward, but at the back we looked really susceptible. I mean, Bojan, Shaqiri, Arnautovic are all dangerous flair, like maverick players, and with Walters in up front before them, he's kind of the player who can push into the centre halves and win the ball back, and I knew that would cause us problems today. The teams, they went out with a team that I kind of thought Ranieri would go out for. It was only Ulloa not playing that I got wrong. Okazaki played instead of him, which I think was a bit lucky, and Okazaki had a poor game. He didn't really make an impact on the game. His touch looked poor, and he came off in the second half, but you know, 13 minutes in, then they get the ball in the middle of the park. The game's really bit of both ways. Ball gets played in, nice little ball by Arnautovic it is. Bojan's run's not tracked, he gets in, and a nice finish past Schmeichel. 13 minutes in, 1-0 down, and not the best start for Ranieri's men, but it was only 1-0, and you're thinking, you know, we can still get back into this game. It's only 1-0. Bojan Mo, it was a nice finish, nice run, but our defence has got to watch his runs. He's going to get those runs in behind us all afternoon, which he didn't actually. We stopped it behind that, but you've got to stop those runs. Those players can pick a pass in between you. Even if they don't have a good game, they can do moments like that. But 7 minutes later, the worst moment of the game from a City fan's point of view, Wes Morgan makes an absolute howler, kind of trying to kick it back, Paolo Di Canio style, when he scored that brilliant goal a few years ago. Kicks it back, misses the ball basically, taps it. Walters is putting pressure on him, but that's no excuse for what's happened. Goes to kick it like that, scissor kick it, misses the ball, just gets a nick on it. Walters runs through, slots it past a helpless Schmeichel. I'm not sure what Morgan was doing. There's a guy who sits behind me at football who always shouts, "What are you doing, Wes?" And it could only make me think of that moment, because what were you doing, Wes? I mean, it was an awful decision. He is prone to these mistakes, and today was one of those ones where he made the mistake. But 2-0 down, going into half-time, 2-0 down again, and you were thinking, oh God, here we go again. I know we did it against Villa, but you know, lightning never strikes twice, does it? We can't come from 2-0 down again, away to Stoke, a good side. They haven't got a win yet this season. They're going to pick up the first one against Leicester. We're going to break another bad duck. So second half, Inler goes off, half-time. Great decision again by Ranieri. Inler was poor the first half, made no impact on the game, and looked really lackadaisical and lacklustre really on the ball. Drinkwater and Kante were brilliant. I'll come more to Kante later on in the video, but Drinkwater had another excellent game for me, especially in the second half. And Inler came off, Albrighton came on for him. Albrighton didn't really do anything in the second half. I don't remember him touching the ball, but a few minutes in, Mahrez plays the ball, lovely, 51st minute, inside. Drinkwater's making a run, he's bundled over by Arnautovic. Drinkwater does really well to get his body in the way. Mahrez was a lovely ball. He didn't have another great game, Mahrez. The defender seemed to have worked him out when he was trying to cut inside or fake away, but I'm sure the papers will talk about him again tomorrow. But Drinkwater, brilliantly, gets his body in the way, wins the penalty. We've had 3 penalties in 6 games now. A penalty in half of our games is really, really good. It just shows we're getting in positions where we can win penalties. And then that's the bit you're thinking, who's going to take it now? Is Vardy going to take it? Is Mahrez going to take it? Mahrez takes the penalty, slots it into a bottom corner. Nothing that Butland can do about it. After Mahrez scored, we really started to look in control of the game again. It was amazing that you can see the belief and desire in that team to want to win the game. And then 15 minutes later, 68, 9th minute, 15, 16 minutes later, 69th minute, the ball was played down the Stoke end and Morgan was fighting with Walters. He went out for a goal kick and Stoke were complaining about that and thinking it should have been a foul on Walters. Schmeichel hoofs it up. Ball's found in the middle, chipped forward. Mahrez, amazingly, wins a flick on, flicks it on. Vardy takes it down beautifully into the area, and this is where Vardy's struggled over the past few years. His finishing's been poor, and it's the place that's let him down most in his game. But since Kevin Phillips has gone to Scum United, or Scum County as we want to call them, his finishing's got better, and he's slotted it brilliantly past Butland. Left foot finish into the corner. Kevin Phillips, who needs him, slots it brilliantly into the corner. Phillips obviously did well for the club. I'm not dissing Kevin Phillips, but yeah, he went, and it was a great finish by Vardy. Lovely tuck past Butland, and again, we've got something out of the game at this point, 2-2. And the last half an hour, we were really controlling the game, and then Stoke were controlling the game, and then we were controlling the game, and it was really end-to-end, and you didn't really know what was going to do. But the one shining light, I'm going to talk about it now quickly. The game obviously kind of petered out in the last few minutes, and Stoke brought Crouch on. Crouch came on, just quickly I'll talk about this. Crouch came on, looked a bit of a threat in the air, but they didn't supply enough. Shaqiri had a free kick, but we never looked too susceptible to conceding from a neutral's point of view, I'd imagine. As a Leicester fan, you always think we're going to concede, but as a neutral, I wouldn't have thought we did. But I'm going to talk about it now then. The game finished 2-2, but the shining light in the whole game was N'Golo Kanté. What a player we've got our hands on here. Never loses a 50-50, never loses a 10-90. He never loses the ball. He is everywhere. He ran over 10 miles today, and a mile more than any other player on that pitch. He was absolutely brilliant. He was epic. Inler was the man we all talked about coming in, but Kanté seems like the signing we needed. He's an absolute terrier in that middle of the pitch. There was one moment he gave the ball away. His passing was a bit poor in the second half when he started to look a bit leggy. I mean, I don't mean leggy in his play looked leggy, but just getting towards the end of the game when he got cramp and had to go off with 5 minutes to go. But he gave the ball away and ran 20 metres to get it back from a tackle. Every way he seemed to look on that pitch, he was there today. And I've never given this rating before, but you'll see in my player ratings, I've given him a 10 out of 10, Kanté today. He didn't put a foot wrong. I know a few of his passes were off, people will say that, but he is exactly what we needed on that pitch. He's a fighter, he's a terrier, and he's absolutely brilliant. I call him a Tasmanian devil. He's absolutely world class. I really think he is. It's what Arsenal should have bought, but luckily we've got him, and he's so brilliant in that centre of midfield. You can see my other ratings at the bottom of the page. I thought Vardy did have quite a good game. He didn't get much of a ball, but when he did get it, obviously slotted the penalty away. Mahrez, like I said, they seem to get control of him, the defence. They seem to know what to do, and really, he's got to play more infield for me. He can't be stuck out on the wing. When he gets in the middle of the park, he looks more dangerous, running at defenders. When it's one-on-one, he seems to be now that the defenders have worked him out. But again, he gets himself a goal. Another alright performance by Mahrez. Morgan, not a great game. Was sloppy really the whole game. Hufo on the other hand next to him, very good game, especially when Crouch came on and dealing with Walters, one of his best friends obviously from Stoke, we all know. He was epic today again, didn't really lose out. Schlupp's pace was good going forward again, but a few crosses were terrible. A few went right into Rosed. Okazaki made no real impact on the game. Like I said, Drinkwater had an excellent game. Drinkwater, I thought, was good again, and has to say in that midfield over Inler now because he's done it again this week. He seems like a rejuvenated player from last season. Dilat did alright, his pace going forward is good. Schmeichel again, couldn't really blame him for either of the goals. The Walters one maybe could have made more of an effort to dive, but it was hardly his fault, it was Morgan's fault really, so you can't give him a bad rating. Albrighton didn't really do much when he came on, so they're my ratings for the game. Like I said, Inler made no real impact, and I think those ratings are fair on what I saw. Obviously, Kanté getting a 10 is the standout, and I'm sure no papers will give him that because they don't seem to see the game as we see it. But as a Leicester fan and a diehard Leicester fan, I see Kanté as that crucial cog in the middle of the field who just keeps everything ticking over, and having someone who can win the ball back in vital areas on the pitch. I'm sure if you looked at a map of where he won the ball back today, a lot of them will have been in the opposition as attack, like when they were attacking. It won't have been when we were just going forward and lost the ball. But he did do that as well. I mean, it was a real all-round brilliant performance, Kanté, and it just shows that our scouting system really does work. We got Mahrez, and now we've got Kanté, and we've got these great players who are just going to be embedded into the team. Talking about Stoke then quickly at the end of the video, let's talk about Stoke. I thought Stoke were alright. I think people will say they had a really good first half. I didn't think they were deserving of a 2-0 lead. Like I said, they didn't threaten our goal much more than they did in that first half when they scored their goals. They had two real opportunities and put them both away. Shaqiri looks dangerous. He looks like he's going to cause a lot of defensive problems, despite diving for one where Schlupp won the ball, which I'm sure you'll see later. He goes down 3 yards later in the second half when he took a free kick, but he looks dangerous. His deliveries from set pieces is excellent. It's like Albrighton for us. He seems to get a lovely whip on them and float them in, and I'm sure Stoke will score a lot of goals. And apart from that, Butland looks good. He looks like he's a good keeper. Made a good save from Kanté in the first half, diving down to his right, and a good one from Vardy in the second half, diving down to his left. So I'm sure he'll compete with Joe Hart in years to come for that England #1 when Hart's ageing and Butland's still the goalkeeper on the rise. But I don't think Stoke will finish near the bottom this season. I think they'll be a mid-table team. I hope we'll be the same, a mid-table team. But I think Stoke will be there or thereabouts at mid-table. I can't see them finishing where they currently are in the bottom three. They're a much better side than they are today, and one thing that was key for us was that Diouf wasn't playing today, because Diouf causes a lot of problems and they seem to miss him up front. Having to play Walters instead of him really seemed like a struggle for them. But I said it, they really miss Nzonzi in the middle of that pitch. He's the big key miss for them. They don't have enough control in the middle of the pitch for me as they did last season, and Nzonzi's the main reason for that. He went to Champions League football, which you can't blame him for, but Stoke should have tried to hold on to him for everything that they had, because he was a world-class player in my opinion, and he did a lot right for Stoke in that middle of the pitch, but made the flair players stand out last season, and made Bojan look good last season. Bojan came back today. He scored obviously one goal, but apart from that didn't really make too much of an impact. Had a ridiculous shot from the halfway line, trying to lob Schmeichel. Not really sure what he was doing with that one. Didn't really make too much of an impact to him. But like I said, I think Stoke will finish a lot better than they have, and their home support I'm sure will drive them back on. They still haven't got a win though this season, and Leicester still haven't lost this season. Who would have thought we'd be saying that? 6 points into the season. We're averaging 2 points a game in the Premier League. That is more than enough to keep us safe, as everyone knows. That's more than enough to keep us in the top 6, 7 of the league. I'm not saying that's going to necessarily carry on, but the desire and spirit that they show with this team is brilliant. I mean, we have less possession than the other team in every game, and that's not our style of football. We're a counter-attacking side. We're good on the break. We're good when we have pace going forward. Kante, Albrighton, Vardy, Mahrez, Okazaki. We're good when we've got that pace going forward. And yes, stats might matter sometimes, but I don't think they do. We have more shots than a lot of teams every game, despite having less possession. We really are a great team to watch because we're never out of a game. The last 2 weeks have epitomised that more than any other. We show such heart and desire, and Conte really led that for me today. That's why I keep talking about him. He showed everything I want to see from a player wearing the shirt I love so much. He shows what I would be like if I was out there. I always feel I'd show complete determination for the cause and for my team, and fans love that, and Conte showed that today. He shows everything as a love for the team that he's only just joined, and he's a player you want to watch because he can win the ball back and just distribute it lovely. Like I said, him and Drinkwater worked in tandem really well in that second half, and that really helped us. Inler needs to settle down in this league. He needs to become the kind of passer that we see for Switzerland. He still might be uncomfortable in the team or in the surroundings of the Premier League even, but hopefully he can adapt because he is a world-class player, as we all know. But like I said, still unbeaten after 6 games in the league. We still sit second in the table. You can't take that away from us. No one can take that away from us. What a position it is to be as a Leicester City fan at the moment. That's all for this little video then. Please leave your comments down below if you saw the game, or if you didn't, ask me any questions about the game. I'm happy to answer them. Please like the video. Please like the video, because you always have to like the video, especially when Leicester come from 2 goals down again. Please, can you follow me on Twitter or reply to me on Twitter at LCFC Chairman. There'll be a link down in the description. Send me anything you want to know about the game or any questions you want me to answer. I'm happy to answer them on there. And as always, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.